My name is Lara Olivetti. What I like to do is to help people achieve a freedom of movement. I believe that freedom of movement is key in human development. Where you are free when you can choose, when you have an option to go out of the context you are in and to fulfill your dreams by crossing borders, by changing a country. Or you have also the freedom to go back. You have an option, you can choose. It is important for me because it is part of my history. At first, I was really longing for personal freedom growing up in a country where, in that time at least, it was difficult to enjoy it. I was growing up on Lake Garda, which is a tourist destination. There were so many tourists from many other countries in the world, and I was fascinated by hearing their languages, although of course I didn't understand, but that was the trigger. I wanted to understand. And so very soon I started to learn several languages and to study. I put down my head into studying hard because I needed the knowledge, the tools to make it outside in the world, and I did it. So what inspired me was to go to another city, to Milan, to study the law, and then to Holland to find a country that was much more in democracy, much more open to individual freedom, and where women were voicing their claims and they were really standing up for themselves. That's not really what I was used to, not because it was Italy necessarily, but in my environment. The family I grew up was made of very generous and courageous women who would really stand up for their children and for their family, but maybe not so much for themselves. So what I learned in the Netherlands was to stand up for myself, to listen to my needs, and to claim for them. I see growing barriers. I see security priorities coming up. I see security issues being prioritized in the agenda of political level. I see, growing barriers and much less freedom of movement than before. That means less options. So I see that citizenship nowadays is practically the most desirable position one can have to achieve freedom of movement. And freedom of movement is key for human development. So I'm not saying that everybody has to desire to go further and to change country. Absolutely no. I just say that it is essential for our development to have the option for some time to study abroad or to send your children to study abroad and then to come back, of course. It is, nowadays, the movement of people is not only in one direction as it used to be decades ago. Nowadays, migration means to have the option to change country when you need it and to come back. I have visited many countries, always for my work, I have to say. I haven't traveled much for pleasure, unfortunately, but that's because my work was fulfilling my dreams, so that was my pleasure. And I have been in the Americas, both in the north and in the south. Mostly I have lived in Europe, in Holland, and nowadays I live in Sweden. But of course, what I liked is that always I had the opportunity to go back to Italy and to go on working with the team of lawyers I've been working with for so many years. We grew up together, actually. We studied together. We share views, values, and the mission. I think Italy has a big debt to all the Italians who immigrated and contributed so substantially to the progress of Italy, not only with their money, their remittances, their flow, financial flow that was timely and really reliable for Italy and its development after the Second World War. I think that Italy developed also as an image, as an identity in the world and in the arts at every level, because it was known and seen abroad. So there is no development of identity without going out and showing yourself and having an exchange with the others. I worked a lot with organizations like Save the Children, where I still volunteer and I work as a consultant nowadays, and with other organizations also of Italians in the world, Italian immigrants abroad. From these organizations I learned about empowerment. You don't need to be a lawyer to stand up for your right and to learn how to defend your rights. Most of us can learn and can stand up for our rights. And by righting a wrong, even a little one, we make a huge leap forward. Learning that power, learning how to stand up and to know what the law says, where the right is, where her right is, well, that is key to the development of a person.